Welcome, welcome. This is the Enlightenment Show, and I'm your host, Laurie Schoenfeld. This is where Chicken Soup for the Soul meets the artist way with Nancy Drew. Our guest today is Jaime Lynn Hendricks, author of It Could Be Anyone. We're going to be chatting with her today all about her new release and what interesting experiences she's had at a wedding. Welcome, Jaime.
Hello, thank you for having me, Laurie.
You're so welcome. What is something right now that you're celebrating in your life?
Oh, well, I know I just told you just offline, we are moving to Florida, which I am sort of celebrating because I've been down there we've had a place down there for about 10 years. So we have been going back and forth. So I suppose I'm celebrating. I'm afraid to leave my actual home, but I suppose I'm celebrating the fact that my winters will be 1 month long and probably about 50 degrees. So for somebody who hates snow, I guess I have that to celebrate.
That will be a new transition for sure.
Yep, absolutely.
Can you share with our listeners and viewers what It Could Be Anyone is all about?
What it's all about? Well, it is the story of a destination wedding where 5 college friends get together from New York and they fly down to Miami for their other friend's wedding. And everybody is pretending to be happy and they can't wait. And they love Trevor Vaughn, this horrible, vile groom. And they all pretend to love him. And they all tell it to each other over and over how so excited they are to celebrate their friend Fiona getting married to Trevor. Meanwhile, they are all hiding devastating secrets, and Trevor has been blackmailing them all to, kind of say how much they love him and kind of push Fiona down the aisle because he has his own reasons for wanting to marry into her family. And when she started expressing some doubt, he made sure that her closest friends kind of told her that it's the right thing to do. And these secrets that these friends are hiding are some, it's not, they forgot to put the milk away. These are some pretty devastating, life-changing secrets. So it's all fun and games until, no spoilers here, but when Trevor dies halfway through page 1 at the reception, the question is, who done it? Who had a secret worth killing for?
Mm-hmm. This is my favorite genre, Jaime, because just like you said, on page 1, we have a murder and there are multiple POV characters, so you get that clue who done it, like Phil. How was the process in creating these multiple characters and taking the depth in their backstory to build that suspense together as a whole?
Well, it's funny because I'm sure you know the difference between a plotter and a pantser. I am not a plotter. I 100% seat of my pants. So when I wrote this one, now this one I actually wrote before Finding Tessa, which ended up being my debut. This book actually got me my agent, but then it didn't sell. And then I wrote Finding Tessa, and Finding Tessa sold. Different process of writing. This one was different because I was still searching for an agent. So I wanted to grab something. I wanted something that really grabs the reader, like really, really immediately, which is why I have a dead groom on page 1. And then I wrote the entire opening chapter from the killer's point of view, kind of alluding to the fact that this person had a secret and killed the groom. And then I went into the points of view of every character and I kind of made them up as I went along. And I just made it so that every single person had a secret. Now, I did not know what those secrets were yet. I actually prefer to, because I don't plot, I need my character to tell me who they are before, like I don't box them into something I think they should be by plotting it, because that just doesn't work for me. kind of jealous of the people it does work for. It just doesn't work for me. So as I started developing the characters, I started thinking, what would devastate this character's life? And that's what I made their secret about. Something that would hurt that character in particular. And I didn't know what it was until I knew them. So once I did that, it was kind of easy. Then I just had to go back and, change a couple of things. I wrote the book in 6 weeks. So yeah, it was fast because, like I said, once I figured out who they were, it was fun to write because it was devilish.
So this may actually answer the next question. My next question was, do you know who you're going to murder before you write the novel? Or is it you're sitting at the computer and you're like, someone's going to die today. I wonder who it is.
For this one, I knew it was going to be the groom was going to be dead. And that was that. For everything else I've written, I kind of know who's going to die. I kind of plan. The only thing I ever plan is a twist. That's what I get in my head first, is what is the twist going to be? And then I kind of make up a story around that. So if someone's going to die, even if that's a twist, I know about that because I kind of have to allude to that at some point. So I have killed people that I didn't think I was going to kill. And sometimes it was with one book, I had somebody that I thought I was going to kill somebody. And then I was like, no, I think it works better if this person is alive. So, stay tuned for upcoming, things going on with that. But so sometimes I think it'll work better if a character dies, but then I realize it doesn't. But usually I know when I'm going to kill someone. It's fun.
So walk us through that, Jaime. When you're in that space of knowing you're about ready to write the murder scene, are the lights dim? You got music, like you got a certain gear you're wearing. Like, what does that look like in your corner?
Yes, I have on my hazmat suit. I don't want to get blood on me, and I'm playing the Jason Friday the 13th theme in the background. And no, I actually prefer to write in complete silence, which is, I know people have playlists for things that they're writing, but I just start singing along, which is why I can't read when I have music on in the background, because I start singing along and then I can't concentrate. Coffee. I like coffee. I don't really have a stage to set. I do it. I just do it.
I love it. We have a comment coming in. Taylor. Hello, Taylor. Plotter and pantser. I love that. Yes.
More of a pantser. The only thing I plot is a twist, but I wing everything else.
Thank you for joining us, Taylor. Hypothetically speaking, have you ever wanted to murder someone at a wedding, Jaime?
Well, I think you got my answer. Murder is a very, very bad word. Did I ever want to murder somebody at a wedding? No, that's crazy. Have I always liked some of a guest or a would-be bride or a would-be groom? No, but that's not my business. It has nothing to do with me. So I have not wanted to murder anybody. Let's go.
We'll turn the tables and say, what are some of your favorite things that you like at a wedding?
I do like when it's somebody I've known forever, and as we all get older and we all kind of separate and start doing our own thing with our own families and we move and jobs, I do like that element of everybody getting back together again. And when it's people you haven't seen or people you used to see every day or every other day. And then all of a sudden it's once a week, then it's once a month, and then it's once a year. And then unfortunately, like weddings and funerals, and that's when you start seeing people. So when it's not a funeral, which is a very bad reason for people to get back together, I do appreciate that element of childhood friends, high school friends, college friends, adulthood friends, getting everybody in the same room. And, now everybody's got the photo booth and everybody's, acting silly and they're putting the funny hat on. And it's just fun. I like when that part happens, when everybody kind of gets out of control and forgets the fact that they haven't seen each other. It just, you slip right back into it. So that I think is, a sign of like great friendships and, just being able to do it.
Yes, I totally agree. Have you had an interesting experience at a wedding ceremony that was unforgettable for you?
Yes. I was at a wedding where somebody passed away on the dance floor. It was not a murder.
Wow.
So it was unforgettable, unfortunately. That's one of the things you think you only are ever going to see in a movie where, the music stops, somebody screams, call 911, and, that was unforgettable.
Mm-hmm.
So, but, other than that, they've all been great. They've all been kind of this, the same, which is, upbeat and wonderful and lovely. So, yeah.
What is one of your favorite things about the experience of writing? It could be anyone.
My favorite things about writing it? Well, honestly, shocked me at how fast I wrote it. I put myself, when I'm actively writing a novel, I make myself do 1,000 words a day. And sometimes it takes a half an hour, sometimes it takes 8 hours. And I found myself just over the course of a few hours going 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 words a day with this. And then I was like, wow, this is like so fun and fast. And, and I was shocking myself with some of the things that I was making them do, because we'll probably get to that later about some of the secrets. But I was shocking myself with some of the things I was making them do. So I enjoyed how I really never got stressed on this. I never got a spot where I got stuck. I never had a spot where I was like, okay, what do I do next? I changed things so much and I kind of just flowed with it after, which just shocked me, because this is the only one. The rest of them, I get stuck all the time. But this one, I had a lot of fun with.
Did you, when you were writing the story and there were certain secrets that were coming up, did you know before you were going to write them what kind of secrets you wanted to investigate or explore, or was it something that just organically came and you investigated alongside with your character at that point?
Yes, I kind of just threw them in as I saw fit, when, like, with the reveals, because as you go into a little bit of the backstory, where the groom meets with each of the characters and kind of threatens them and kind of tells them that he knows what they did. And even at that point, I didn't know what they did. I just kind of said, like, okay, one is going to involve, an article from a long time ago, and we'll figure out what was in the article later on. One's going to involve, something with an X, and one's going to involve something with another X. And, I was trying to kind of build the suspicion around it and build the suspense. But when I actually got to some of the reveals, which you and I could talk about offline because we don't want to give anything away. But when I got to some of the reveals, even I was shocked. And I made some things that some of these characters ended up doing. I didn't know that they were doing it until I literally wrote the sentence. And then I went, I was like, I can't believe what they just did. So then but then, because it was some of them were so crazy, but like I said, it was so easy to write and I didn't get stuck. Once I went through that shock factor, I was like, oh, now I get to do something else. And it's like, devil horns come out. And it was really fun.
You do an amazing job, Jaime, on suspense. And I loved where you put just enough of a red herring where, as the reader, we're getting that taste of, oh, this is kind of what we're looking at, but we still have no idea exactly what we're looking at. And so we want to continue to keep reading each page to find out those secrets and what they're learning that, Trevor knows, but also we're learning right alongside them. You do a fantastic job with that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Do you like, because you have some amazing cliffhangers, and I appreciate cliffhangers. I really enjoy them.
One more page.
Because that's exactly, it's 1:30 in the morning and you're like, oh no, I can't end here. We've got to go a few more pages and then a few more. Do you like cliffhangers, reading and watching movies and cliffhangers?
Yes, that is my favorite thing because I consider something that's a cliffhanger or one more page, one more chapter. Those are the unputdownable ones. And those are the ones that I love. Those to me are very fast paced because once you say, okay, maybe just one more, and before you know it, you're through half the book. And then it's like, oh crap, I actually do have to go to bed or go to the bathroom or eat something or, let my dog inside. Oh my God, how long has she been out there? But, when I literally can't put it down, those are the ones that I love. And even if it, I have no sleep or I wasted a day and I just realized I'm still in my pajamas and it's 4:00 in the afternoon and I couldn't get out of bed because I started reading it this morning just to read one more chapter. When the day gets away from you and then you feel like you wasted a day, I'm like, yes, this was great. It wasn't a waste. It was awesome.
Well, job well done, because you definitely did that on this book. You have 6 friends who are close and they met in college within your book. What are things that you value personally within a friendship?
Well, I am 40 something and my best friend has been my best friend since I was 4 years old. So we have gone through like everything together. Everything from 4 years old, from like scraped knees to first kisses, first boyfriends, marriages, a divorce for her. I moved because we've always been, within 10 minutes from each other. And I moved to New York City and I was there for 8 years. And then I moved from there to Hoboken. And then from Hoboken, I moved to where I am now in New Jersey, which again is 10 minutes away from her. And now I'm moving to Florida, which is 1,000 miles away. And one of the things that we both made a very, very conscious effort of doing was a conscious effort of never, ever, ever losing touch. We used to make, when I was in Hoboken and New York City, which was only an hour, like an hour drive, we would meet at least once a month for dinner. We'd meet in the middle, or she would come up to me, or I would go down to her. We would make phone dates because we would nobody talks on the phone anymore. Everybody's texting. We would make phone dates where like once a week, we'd say Tuesday at 7:00, I'm going to call you. And then we would just and just talk about everything. And we never felt disconnected. So just the fact that she's just always there for me. I'm always there for her. We drop everything for each other at the drop of a hat, and we always will. That's the best thing in the world for me is no matter what happens with my life, I know she will be there for me, and she knows I will undoubtedly be there for her.
That's a beautiful friendship that you've had since you were 4.
Yep.
That's a treasure.
Over 40 years. Best friend in the world.
We're going to turn it to the inner child question segment. Are you ready, Jaime?
My inner child or my character's inner child?
First question. What is something suspenseful that you personally enjoyed doing when you were a teenager?
Oh, suspenseful. Well, there's all the the truth or dares and the light as a feather, stiff as a board that you do at the slumber parties. And I mean, I'm dating myself. Obviously, I don't know what kids do now. But suspenseful, said best friend and I, we used to do a lot of stupid things just to do them, to see if we would get caught. That's what kids do. But I did grow up maybe 10 minutes away from a very, very famous rock star. And said rock star still lives in that same spot. Oh, no. He moved. He lives in the same town, but in a different house. But in his old house, everybody kind of knew where it was because it was this person. So everybody who lived around there knew it was that person's house. And there was a huge fence around it. And me and my best friend used to go through the woods and climb on the electrical boxes and climb over it so we could see anything. And we'd be stuck to the end. And it wasn't like a chain link fence. So we would be stuck to the top of it. And then we're hanging there like idiots. And if we don't make it back onto the electrical box, we would fall down like 5 feet. But we're just trying to get it, catch a glimpse. And then we was then you hear something, you hear somebody coming up the driveway, and we're like, oh my God, we have to get out of here. We're going to get caught. Never got caught, but it was, something that we thought was suspenseful. And it wasn't really it wasn't breaking and entering. We didn't do anything. We were actually in the woods, and the fence was the end of the property. So we weren't doing anything by trying to look over. We were very innocent. It was very fun.
That's very suspenseful, though, the not knowing if you're going to get caught part by itself. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we did it.
Second question. This is a clue question, Jaime. What character would you be in Clue? What room would you choose to stay in? And what weapon of your choice would you pick?
Okay. I loved Miss Scarlet. I loved her. I thought she was fun and sassy, and she was really cool. And I liked how her little dress was always over here off her shoulders. It was very, very cool. I would be in the library, and I would probably have to use. I'm torn between two. I can't do a knife because I can't walk up to somebody and do, that's too personal. Either a candlestick, or I could just be whack and then, leave, or a gun where I don't really even have to get that close. And I could just be okay, I could do it. You stay in that corner of the library. I'm going to come through that secret passageway. I'm going to boom, boom, boom. And then I'm going to go right back through it. And I don't have to get personal at all. So definitely Miss Scarlet, definitely the library, and probably the gun. Even I think the candlestick might be getting a little too close and having I don't know. Oh God, please die. What if they if they don't die on the first one, I have to bludgeon them. And then that gets very personal.
Unless you have really good aim, you could throw it and at least knock them out for half a second from a far distance, but that would be half a second maybe.
Yeah, but then, Clue is it's a game of murder. You have to actually murder the person. I don't want to knock them out. I'd have to murder them. And like I said, if they didn't do it on one hit, I would have to beat them to death. And I don't know if I'm that violent. Despite what you read.
Mm-hmm. That's always the funnest part. Do you get that, Jaime, with people that read your books and then they look at you and they read your books? Have you had any interesting conversations there of you wrote this, or? Well,
I think readers of thrillers know that we create characters. I mean, some of my my best friends who are authors. I mean, you look at like Ashley Winstead and you say, where the hell does this darkness come from? Because she is nothing but love and light. But it's just because she's a good writer. So, I prefer when I find out something I don't know. I think people are able to separate the author and the characters, the author themselves and the books that they write. At least I hope so. I hope people don't think that that's my group of friends. That's just, it's fiction. We make things up. It's fun. I get to make things up for a living. How fun.
Mm-hmm. Yep. The depth too between the light and the dark that we all have.
Yes.
Those pieces too, which is a beautiful and very cool thing to find in each one of us, I think.
Absolutely.
Third question, Jaime. What is the oddest food combo that you've liked and tried or you've just tried?
Okay. This is going to sound so strange, so bear with me. Have you ever heard of a pickleback?
No.
Okay. It's a shot. It's a shot. And when somebody told me what this was, I said, there is no way I'm doing that. That is the most disgusting thing I have ever heard of. It's never going to happen. Just do it. Just do it. It is a shot of Jameson, followed by a shot of pickle juice. Let me tell you something. You take that shot of Jameson and you take the shot of pickle juice, you taste nothing. There's no burn. There's no burn sensation. There's no alcohol thing. But let me tell you, because then when I was with my friends, Jillian, Mary, Liz, and Jen, and my friend Mary was the one who said that you guys should try this. So when we did, and I was like, oh my God, you're right. That is the best combination I have ever had. Let's have another one. And this is when we lived in New York City. So I only had to stumble home a couple of blocks. But yeah, you end up doing quite a few of those and you don't realize that you're actually doing shots of Jameson. So like, don't have 5 or 7. Don't have 7. Don't have 7. That's a very, very bad idea. But I swore I would never do one again after that. And then maybe 7 years ago, I was at a barbecue and somebody mentioned it. And I was like, oh, I haven't had one of those in, 15 years. And, oh yeah, just do one. I was like, maybe I will do one. But I only did 2 that day. I was like, I'm not doing it. And then more recently, I did 1. I forgot where I did it. I'm telling you, it was sometime this summer. And I forgot where I was, but it was sometime this summer where somebody was like, oh, pickleback. And I was like, okay, I'll do it. And I just did it. I did 1 and I was fine. And I forgot, like it's a strange, odd combination. But if you feel like having a drink and you want to say, hey, I haven't tried this before, do a little shot of Jameson and immediately a shot of pickle juice. And you won't even, you don't taste either of them. They cancel each other out. It's so weird.
That is so interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I love it. I've never done that before. However, I'm very intrigued and I'm going to try just to understand this.
And then contact me and be like, I got to tell you, man.
Kind of weird.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
I love it. Before we end today, Jaime, what is some advice that you can give to our listeners on living a creatively abundant life?
Creatively abundant. It's easier said than done, even for me. So I am guilty of what I'm about to tell you, not to do. To be creatively abundant, I think you have to be present. And by being present means not always being attached to your stupid little devices and always being on the computer, always being on the phone, always capturing the moment by texting it to everybody and by storying it immediately. Sometimes just be in the moment and you will find that inspiration is really everywhere if you let yourself see that it's everywhere. And I think that's a way to be more creative because you can find creativity everywhere. Sometimes just if I'm sitting in my yard and that's the thing, I bring my phone into my yard because what if someone's texting me and what if I have to check something and what if I get an email and what if this happens? But sometimes like my husband and I will just go out there, we'll put the radio on, we'll have a glass of wine. We'll look in the yard at the trees. We have a reservoir like off the end of our property. And it's just beautiful. And then, and then I'm like, wow, this is so pretty. Look at the sun setting. We're so lucky that we're able to have this glass of wine and look at that property. And I wonder if somebody's buried back there. And if I was going to hide a body, Should I do it over there, or should I put it in the murky part, or should I row out and drop it? And how do I do? So you could really find inspiration anywhere. Just saying.
Oh, Jaime, I love it because I do the same thing. It's very lovely for a while, and then it goes like the twists start just naturally gravitating and moving, you know?
At the end of a cul-de-sac, who was here before me? What's really near that water? What happens when it gets dark?
Your curiosity is alive and well, my friend.
Yes, yes, without question.
Where can our listeners find you if they have any questions after the show or about your books?
I am very active on Instagram, and it is Jaime Lynn Hendricks author. Jaime is spelled Jaime. Thanks, Mom, for never letting me get a fun keychain at a boardwalk when I was a child. So yeah, there's that. There's at Twitter, I'm at author JLH. And anybody could email me anytime. It's authorjlh@gmail.com. Any questions, any comments, anything. I love connecting with readers. Anything you got, come at me.
Thank you so much for being here with us today, and sending you lots of love in your new transition with
Thank you, Laurie.
And thank you for all of those who are watching us today and will be also watching on the replay. We're so grateful to have you joining us. Remember, as you go about the rest of your week, to find the things that are working within your life, and you are the creator of your own story as well as your own investigator. Find your own truth and what story you would like to tell. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Jaime.
Thank you, Laurie.